And it's on our side.
It's on our side, and it was gonna work out perfectly, perfectly. Yes, yes, yes.
Perfect. Today you got to be like a light worker, the tech, you know, genius and everything. So yeah, Mercury's out of retrogrades, and we are here to talk about the full moon and to go
Hello,
into.
hello, darling.
There we go.
Yes. Mercury is out of retrograde, and most of the planets went direct almost at the same time. So it's
Hmm.
almost like, we're like being called to go in, to go inside, and you're like, when is it gonna end? And then finally Saturn went direct, Jupiter went direct, Mercury went direct, and it's like full on now. Like you see clarity, you see where you're going, you see how you're getting there. It's like it's on, it's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready or not, we are on.
Ready or not, we are on. Exactly, exactly. But it's almost like I feel like because Mercury was in Virgo, it was all about like structuring, right? Like we really saw like the holes in our plan, right? Because it's one thing to have a vision, but it's another thing to do step by step every day, committing to posting on Instagram if your business is on Instagram, or going to work, or calling your clients, right? Being consistent and having a routine.
Mhm. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, well, I love being here with you, Daria, because we always create magic together. It
Yes.
feels like, we've known each other for a long time, and I'm also super, super excited to be here with you and to bring the astrology into a very tangible way, with life and how we understand it, how we live it. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Oh, I love talking to you too. I feel like we always had this affinity for each other, and we always walked our path very similarly in many points of our lives. Our life have intersected, living the same experiences, right?
Yes. And moving out of Canada, having all these experiences of transitions and really launching into new lives, new beginnings. And honestly, to me, astrology is a way to look into the future, look into the
Mhm.
past, what's your birth chart, what cards did you come in here with in a way, and how you can deal with and play them the right time, the right way to navigate this unprecedented time, especially now, in a way in our best ability.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Now is the time, to. I feel like Libra is bringing us a lot of lessons, and Aries is showing us how to sort of come out of them or how to step into that. And I'm gonna go into that a little bit, explaining the Mars and everything. So
Yeah.
Mars is in Libra right now. It's stepping into Scorpio in a few days, which it feels really good in Scorpio. So it will be the do it time, right? We're stepping into the strength and the doing. But Mars being in Libra, we saw where and I saw that myself as well, where we would rather socialize, where we would rather chill, where we would rather be in our comfort zone and not go out and do, right? Because Libra is all about, well, somebody else will do it, right? Or I will support somebody who will help me with it. I'll do it with someone, or
Hmm.
someone else knows better, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like I hope you guys like the you guys like the little witchy things that were happening here. Actually, the full moon is very important for me and Marina. We have a deep practice. One of the paths that we follow is a shamanic path based on the dances of the full moon. So I feel like the moon is our sister as well, right?
Definitely, especially for women. I think by me connecting to the moon more and more, um, I'm able to understand my own body better,
Mhm.
how my body navigates, what it needs, when I need to pause, when I need to accelerate a little more, um,
Mhm.
and also understand the intuitive messages, the wisdom of my body.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah. I feel like That's exactly what one of the beautiful things about Libra, right? Is Venus feels really good in Libra. Yeah. So it's like feeling the body, going with the body, right? Listening to it. Because a lot of times we get so confused with options, right? And then we go back and reconnect, we know exactly what we need in every moment, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And sort of the astrology is sort of showing that to us as well. That's the map.
Yeah.
And the map is showing us to us right now, where is it that, we're afraid to launch ourselves fully by
Yeah.
ourselves, and not saying that, well, I don't have the experience, right? Like this whole imposter syndrome comes in now, right? With the Mars being in Libra and the Sun being in Libra, where it's like, well, I don't know as much, right? So let's find another buddy. Let's do it with someone else who's a professional, right? And maybe I'll get a bit more experience, then I can launch myself into full action, and start the business I always wanted, or be ready for the relationship I always wanted, right? Libra about relationships as well. So it's almost like, well, you'll never be ready. In fact, you're growing with the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no ready mark where you're ready, set, go, right? And the moon being in Aries, and you're in Aries, right? So that shows a lot, like, right? It lights up a lot for you. And I'll ask you that, like, how you feel about the moon in Aries, because the moon in Aries is like, just charge, just go. Because a lot of times opportunities come, and I've been feeling this in my life. This has been happening since the new moon in Aries, right? Which happened in April,
Mm-hmm.
where opportunities are coming, right? But we need to jump on them. So the universe is only giving you the 50%. The universe is like, here you go, you asked for it. Now you have to charge, you have to jump into it, and take that opportunity and integrate, and go with it, right? Start growing with it.
Yeah. Um, I just want to also pay attention and welcome our people here. Olga's
Yeah.
here, Vadina's here. And Dasha, if I can ask you to probably mute your mic on my other platform so you can't hear me. Just mute me somehow. That would be good.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Does
So,
that work?
yeah, I think it works
Okay.
for
So you
me.
can hear me, but I can't hear you, right?
Okay. I hear myself. That's why. I think Olga was saying that they're hearing my double somewhere. So I think, Olga, you might be able to help us out here.
Oh, Olga's here. Hi. I
Yeah.
missed you. My beautiful Olichka. Oh.
Yeah. Awesome. So, yeah, Olga, let us know how's the volume on that one so we can keep going here. Oh, she's asking you if you have a headset. If you have
Oh,
headphones.
would it be better for me to put headphones on? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Well, probably.
Yeah.
That's
No
what
worries. No worries. Yeah.
Olga's a super tech. So that's what she's recommending. All right. Awesome.
Our little techie
Increase your
friend.
volume.
Yes.
Okay, I'll speak a little bit louder. Thank you all for hanging on here. Let us know, where are you from? Where are you all calling from, tuning in from? It's always nice to connect and weave this global family now that we have. I think a lot of us have moved, shifted, through travels or voluntary or involuntary circumstances, but all in the highest good, that we are tuning in from different places, and that's fun. It's beautiful that we are moving beyond countries, beyond borders, and all that stuff. So that's always awesome to see where people tuning from.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Daria's got her headset and we are good to go.
Yeah, I got my headset. How you guys hearing me?
Okay. Let's see.
Yeah?
Let's see. Is that good? I can hear you really well.
I can hear you very well as well. There are no funny noises sometimes. No? Good?
Good. Olga, let us know, please. Your go-to. Yeah. All right. So let's go to that Aries energy that you were speaking into, because I was, talking to, yay. Okay. We are good to go. We've got the thumbs up. Yes. So
Good.
let's talk into it a little more because, as you know, I have the Embodied Feminine Women's Circle as well. And we've been talking about it, and people are feeling the intensity. They're all like, oh my God,
Hmm.
it is intense. Aries is, it has that energy of like, especially with all the planets that were retrograde. So now it's like a slingshot, like, okay, ready or not, here you go. So we're definitely feeling the energy that's like propelling people to move forward. So that can be that fire that people are feeling, and that's what you were talking about.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, well, because for example, Venus right now is in Sagittarius, like you're mentioning, a lot of people are moving out of the countries where there are certain restrictions, where they're forcing them to do certain things that they don't want to do, right? Yeah, so it's almost like, well, the way we should be experiencing it right now is that the Mars at the end of Libra is squaring almost exactly the Pluto, right? So it almost feels right now forced action, right? So it's like action of running away or getting away from something. And that gives you the fire to start something new, right? So that's the energy a little bit. So it does feel a little bit forced, and I understand that. And it's something that, we'll have to understand that sometimes in terms of evolution, we have to be pushed, right? Sometimes it's a pull where you're called towards something, towards a project or a person or a
Yeah.
country, and you just choose it on good faith. And you have other options, and you just choose that option. And sometimes life is just puts road in front of you and asks you to step into the Aries and just, go into it. Hmm.
Mhm. Well, that's the beautiful dance of Venus and Aries, and maybe it can feel very conflicting because
Hmm.
they're almost like polar opposites. I think they're actually six months apart. They're exactly on the two polarities, right?
Yeah.
But it can also be like almost like a calculated risk that we can take. You know, like
Hmm.
if you have a dream, if you have something that is really urging you and invites you to go forward, the question is like, okay, how can you go into it, with more, does it make sense on different levels, or are you jumping fully in? And sometimes that works, but sometimes we can also, check in with, the brain, once in a while, and like logistics, does it make sense? Do I have enough money to travel across the world, or am I leaving with like $100 in my pocket, So calculated risk could be one of them, where Venus is excellent at that, at projections, calculations,
Hmm.
and beautiful
Hmm.
experiences as well. Where Aries sometimes is like, yeah, it's an instant yes. I don't, they haven't finished the end of the invitation yet, and it's like Aries is like a yes.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So because we're on the in the second part of the chart right now, most energies are in like Virgo and Libra and Scorpio and Sagittarius and so on. Absolutely calculated risk and also surrendering to the universe. I feel like the Mars right now is scoring the Pluto. It almost, the universe is asking you right now to release control, because a lot of times we ask for something or for someone, but we also try to control or to imagine, right, to calculate how it's going to happen in our lives, right? And
Mhm.
right now the universe is asking us to trust, to jump, and to be like, you asked for this, and this seems, like you said, calculated, right? So you calculate your steps and so on, feel into it, but also trust the universe, because the more we have a plan and we're trying to control what's happening to us, the less the universe can do for us, unless we're leaving space for the universe to work itself out, right?
Mhm. Yeah, we're definitely in that collective push pull, kind of like I feel like we know it. A lot of us do know the
Hmm.
metaphysical concepts of like, life takes care of you. Life never stays empty. It's going to bring you. You got to take the first step, and then it's going to keep on dancing with you with the third step and the fourth step. But right
Right.
now, I feel like we are done with learning about it and reading about it. Right now, it's a game on, and
Yes.
you're out of, you graduated. So right now, whatever whatever concept or teachers that you studied with, life is really
Mm.
pushing us to that test right now with our real life.
Yeah, exactly, and trusting that the universe has found the best solution for you to live out your destiny, right? Like, I would invite everybody to, like, to see life more as an evolutionary process, right? And your
Hmm.
soul knows exactly where it's going, what it needs to live out. Like, right now, this is playing out for me in life, where I was asking for a house, I was asking for a new flat that I wanted to take on, and I had a budget that I wanted, and I wanted it to look over the sea, and and have this beautiful view of sunrises and sunsets, and everything that I asked for, and it was exactly my budget. The universe has delivered me the flat that I wanted. The only thing is, it's not where I live right now, it's 2 hours away.
Hmm.
So this is how the full moon is playing out for me, because the Libra part of me is like, but I'm attached to these people, but I go out with this, this friend, and I have coffee every week, and so, right, I'm attached to things that probably are not serving my evolution, but they've become, become so used to them, they've become part of my routine, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
That I'm almost, a part of me wants to stay in the old place and not evolve, right?
Hmm.
And the universe is telling me, listen, I found a place for you, what you wanted in your budget, that will allow you, with 2 rooms, because I have a business right now that I'm developing, and it needs a separate bedroom, keeping everything together. So it's like, I gave you everything. In fact, you'll have the space that you need, and you'll meet more people, different people, because in my experience, what's been happening is that if I stay in a place for too long, the conversations, I wasn't meeting the nourishing people. The conversations were just revolving around talking about the people we know, talking about work, or the weather, or just everyday things, right? Just because these people have become part of my routine, and we see each other
Hmm.
so regularly, right? That it wasn't nourishing anymore, the environment. So the universe,
Hmm. Yeah.
the moon in Aries was like, no, you're going into the new space, creating a new you. And
Yeah.
who knows, call yourself by a different name, say different things about you, rebuild
Yeah.
your story. Like, what's your new story,
Right. Well, here is the point where I'm listening to your story, and there are elements in there of graduation. So it's like,
Uh-huh.
because you've exercised your art and what you do for living, and how you assist people with your guidance and everything. And you are now to bring that, but to a different place or a different community. So with
Huh.
progress and growth, it's almost like let go of, sometimes, like, I was even holding on to my teachers, and they're like, no, no, no,
Mm.
no, no, like, literally, some of them transitions on the other realm, and they're like, good luck, you are supposed to be leading now, it's your time to teach these concepts, because I am out, I am gone. So it sounds like, that's the
Mm.
calculated risk in there, where it's like, well, you've got, what but you're going to now build that in a new community, or you might give an opportunity for people to travel and see you, or train other people, or so it kind of stretches us a little bit. And that's the element about areas that I really like, is that it jumps in, connected to its heart, ideally, head first or heart first, but it jumps in. And looking in my
Mm.
life, yeah, I've taken some decisions sometimes where, we're not, the most peaceful and harmonious, but I grew a lot. It made me so much better. I don't regret a thing, because life gives us those opportunities to grow and evolve. And that's the school of life itself. So in that sense, the
Mm.
question is like, can there be a wrong decision, or, in that sense?
Oh.
So especially when we connect and we can check in with all these parts of our heart, our mind, like, logically, does it make sense for me
Mm.
to move out of a certain place right now? Yes, it does, Oh no, it doesn't. So noticing, where am I holding and staying in that comfort zone? Or what is going to be, a great experience for me to grow and evolve?
That's a beautiful way to put it. Wow. Thank you so much for saying that. Yeah, absolutely. And that's exactly how I feel as well, that it's time to move right now. Like, we're in the air of Aquarius, and this is about movement, it's about sharing. Yeah, and also we have to accept that we're outgrowing people. Like, when I was telling my friends that I'll be moving there and everything, they're like, well, why are you moving? I'm like, well, technically nothing is holding me here, and we have to keep going and we have to keep evolving, right? It's about movement, right? It's about new, and it's about outgrowing people, because a lot of times I want you guys, whoever's listening, and you as well, my sweet Marinechka, to like reflect on, we're in different parts of our lives and we all evolve at different pace. So sometimes it could be, and it was my case as well, where, I was in a different place where I was just building myself up, where I was uncertain, where I needed certain resources from people, local people who were connected, who were helping me out, had the contacts and so on at that time. But now I've outgrown this. I have a project that's working, that I'm going, that, I want to connect with entrepreneurs. I want to connect with a different type of energy now. And some people in your life, guys, like haven't grown as fast or as much, or they're not changing their life. And that's okay, right? To accept that you just have to keep going.
Yeah. There is this amazing concept that if you apply that concept, and actually, there is that concept throughout movies and stories, books, and it's the hero's journey from Joseph Campbell. Like, he's got videos and books on this concept, and it's a classical kind of like wheel of trajectory of growth, where the original character has its own habitat, has his mom and his community and walking around, daily routine. And then something either forces it to get out, or he wakes up to this like, he finds a treasure or reads a book or gets a secret key from somewhere. And then something pulls him out of his or her habitual environment to then go through the dark woods, go into the caves and find out, like, confront their own fear, their insecurities, get really uncomfortable. And then they meet usually a witch, a sorcerer, someone who's going to initiate them, or a teacher appears out of nowhere, the wise man, wise woman. So there is this place for, once we leave something that we're comfortable with, and then we take the leap of faith, and then we go and we confront our own insecurities and fears and all that stuff. And then we encounter our teacher, or something that gives us new faith, new enlightenment, new hope, new lens of glasses. It could be a medicine journey, right? That life is never the same after that, right? So, we are like, we see life differently. We're like, whoa, I feel differently. I have a different body. It's like Dorothy, all of a sudden she's like, I have the power. Well, you had the power all along, but now you really have it. You really know it, right? And now, once the character knows it, it knows herself or himself to be different, to know better, then it is invited to, from that journey, it's invited to go either back to its original habitat and make a difference in that community, in that culture, in that environment, or, birth a new one. It's just like really classical concept of the hero's journey.
I love that.
Yeah. And, if we can take that as a reference to our own life, if we're always comfortable, we're not really evolving and growing, then, we keep on having the same or more of the same, right? And if we want things to change, we've got to create that change.
We definitely should. I mean, the way you described it, thank you so much for describing it, Marina. You're an amazing, amazing, amazing little fairy goddess. I felt like you and me both, we went through that journey, right? Where on your end, hello. So many people are joining. Isn't that cool? Yeah, like you went through that journey, right? Like where, you were going to Mexico, you were getting new teachings, you were getting new upgrades, right? You started following a new path and you found your teacher, and you kept coming back to Montreal stronger and more new power and more new knowledge, but the environment wasn't taking it, right? The environment was not, sort of fertile, right? For that seed to grow and then you realize. And I remember us sitting in your living room and you're realizing that you need to create your own, right? You need to, like you said, go out and expand. And this is where, you created the dream, and now, you live in California, well, San Diego. Yeah, I think it's California, right? You guys are on the border there, but yeah,
We're in
you
the
live in
woods.
California. You're in the woods. Yeah, like what California woods? Yes, yes.
Yeah.
But I mean, now you're connecting with that community where you can bring all of that knowledge and you can go and you can share. Now you're there, right? You had to birth a new reality where that seed, would find a place to grow and to help the right community. And now the community is coming to you, right? The beauty of having the wisdom and the seed is that then the community just comes to you. You attract it instead of going after people. And that happened to me as well when I went to Peru and then I went to Mexico and I acquired a lot of knowledge and I had a lot of initiations, for rapé and for shamanic journeys and medicine and so on. And when I came back to Montreal looking to change people's perspective and consciousness and so on, like the environment just wasn't it. And I was like, wow, I really have to leave. It's like the environment back home told me, well, it's like you either go back to, working 9 to 5 or working a job, or this environment is not open to what you got to. Well, at that time, wasn't open to what I got to teach and share. And so, yeah, this is when I made the decision. Again, we're sitting in a living room, and I made the decision to go to Spain.
Yeah,
and this environment has been very, very fruitful for me.
Yeah. So I want to highlight and extract from this conversation of what you're saying around taking a decision. So once you have the idea or a concept or a new inspiration, something that is calling you to new territories, new horizons, new communities, maybe a change in your career or lifestyle, then there comes a time to actually get off your couch, or while you're on your couch taking that decision. You got to really, draw the line in the sand and say, okay, this is the last day of this, and I'm going to, start living in a different way and really, really make those changes now. So you take a decision with yourself. It's like that could be a mirror conversation, that enough is enough. And I love that we're talking like astrology here, that we are in the age of Aquarius. And what I'm really stoked about, that it's, sometimes in astrology, Aquarius is called out of space sign. So it's not even, it doesn't even fit into the 4 elements of earth and, water, fire, and wind, but it really goes into this out of space. So what I love about it is that really, really invites us to think outside of the box, to go straight. So it invites us to really think outside of that box. And that's what I love about it. So in that sense, the question is like, well, how can I think outside of my own box and get out of my ways of thinking and doing life? And what's needed? So beautiful full moon energies that are propelling us to move forward in the right direction. And just to sum it up, we talked about, that Venus aspect and checking in, making these like more calculated risk decisions, and checking in with, is it the right decision for me? Is it healthy? Is it optimal? And then taking those new decisions, new steps, and moving forward. So, and another question would be, okay, I lost you there. I can only see you on one, but it's okay. So let me just sum it up and say goodbye to my platform, and I'll be, oh, here you are. Okay.
I'm right here. And I just wanted to say, yeah, and I feel like, what all of this has what's been happening since, probably we've been doing these lives since, May, April, and so on. And they've been like very challenging, intense times, right? And I think the life has been beating control out of us. Like that's how I feel. And that's how the aspects are showing it to be. The life was like trying to distill it for you. But what's really important for you? Okay, you don't want to leave this space or this country or this relationship for this reason, for this person. But is that really important? Is that what you're doing? Are you ready to sacrifice your dream for this person? You're ready to sacrifice your dream for this community, right? It's like, it was like beating us down to like, okay, you want to control what's going on, but now you can't. The world is out of control and you have to accept the chaos that's going on, right? Because another word that they call Aquarius is chaos, right? It's Uranus. Uranus is chaos. And in chaos, everything happens in perfect, in perfect harmony. Yet you can't see it while it's happening because it's in movement, right? Aquarius is about movement and chaos, right? So it's like boiling down to like, but what is your dream? What is it? What your value, why are you doing this, what's your why, and what are you willing to give up for that why, right?
Yeah. And you know what I want to point out from this conversation that you're saying, when we are in that illusion, when we are in the chaos, right? In the Hindu mythologies too, it's like the Kali Yuga, right? It's the complete illusion and, things that we are, not quite ready for. But it's also peeling away what doesn't serve us. And we are ultimately, that's why it's important to have both. It's important to have our clear vision, turn on that light of where are we really going, and like what's your kind of the lighthouse, right? What's leading you, what's guiding you. And what I also love about it is that we fear chaos because everything that we've been taught in schools and traditional life, like, you graduate and you're going to do this job for the rest of your life. Like, statistically right now, okay, people are changing like, their careers up to 9 times, realistically speaking. Back like 50 years ago in our parents' time, it was 3 careers max, and that has to do with like, some environmental factors or moving around. So right now, what I love about the chaos, and that's that fear, that's the boogeyman in the closet, right? That's the shadow that's haunting us, the dark woods of like, ooh, what if, But what I love about it is that it actually forces us to let go and release what, like, life is taking away what is not good for us. And we really have to surrender and trust life. So whatever that chaos is, if we can stay in prayer, stay in our hearts and trust that whatever is being peeled off is for the highest good, it's awesome. I remember reading this book by a Buddhist monk, Pema Chodron, a great, great read, When All Things Fall Apart. And it's a beautiful read, but also like she says it in that book, when you're holding on to these identities, you're holding on to this is who I am, or I invested, a certain number of years in my life to this career or studying something or pursuing a relationship that's not working and it's like crumbling, and we're holding on this last piece. It's like, please don't, this is my only piece that's left. And that one too goes, instead of patching up, and we see this on the global level and collective levels now, instead of patching up and repairing something that was never meant to work, that the model was not sustainable, right? So if the model is built on false identities that people put on their dating profiles, and then you're like, oh, holy cow, this person doesn't look close to what they were said they would, right? Like, well, don't try to patch that up, and make that sound like it could work, because that's how our subconscious mind plays with us. It's actually going to force things to work that were not true. It's like, so yeah, I wanted to point that out.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, the Sun conjunct Mars right now, and the Mercury just coming out of retrograde. It's a little bit the question. It's like, why are you afraid to show your real face, right? Like, why are you afraid to be real? And do you really think that people won't love the real you? And yeah, that might be true. There might be people in your current environment, like you said, that they'll reject you or they won't like the truth, right? But isn't it better living a life being honestly who you are, and then attracting the people who love who you are, and genuinely enjoy you, not, like you said, like not inventing who you are, not trying to put false profiles or trying to, fit into this mold that the society gave us. Because I feel like I'm an Aquarian, so I love what we're living right now. I feel like it's such a good time where the system is crumbling. So people, like you said, have been living for decades pursuing a career or pursuing a relationship because, you know, it looked good or it looked successful or whatever it is. All of these pieces are falling apart, but they're falling, and a lot of people are holding on to them. And what happens is that if life is taking something away from you and you're really holding on, you feel like life is robbing you because you're like, no, don't take it. Life is like, give it to me, right? So it looks like it's robbing you of something, but in fact, you know, what's going on right now with the planets and just in general, they're trying to liberate us. Life is trying to liberate us from the system that is no longer serving us. And if when we let go, our real desires come out, our real personality comes out, you know. Maybe all you want to do is just lie on the beach somewhere under the palm tree. And that's very possible for very little money, you know. And I've met tons of people who are just renting out their flat somewhere in the world, you know, and get like, you know, $500 to $1,000 a month, and they're happy living under their palm tree, you know. And but maybe you want to change the world and be the next, you know, Anthony Robbins, whatever it is. You know, you just choose how you want to live. And I feel like this is the freedom, this is the gift wrapped in sandpaper, right? That we don't see yet, or some of us fortunate enough to have like who have a lot of Aquarius, we see it. Because this is the new earth. The new earth is like, the system doesn't work. None of it's what we've been told. A lot of it is a lie. And as much as it sucks, like now is the time to be like, well, what's true for me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, we're getting all the hearts. Hi, Christine. Hi, Beauty. She's saying yes. Life is trying to liberate us. Yeah. One of my other amazing queens and mentors, Jennifer Huff. I worked with her back in the days, about 10 years ago. But she said, life is going to take it from you, you know, and we're all going to go, you know, something's going to go, right? We're all going to go. So the only thing you get to decide is whether you're going to go and life is going to push you and you're going to try holding on to, it's like going down the water slide. And either you're going to go holding on and screaming and kicking and pretend like, you know, resisting the ride, or might as well, you know, blast up some good music and just go with, you know, arms up in the air, you know, great tribe. And, you know, because we're all experiencing change. So, honey, I'm looking at the time. Let's kind of bring it to closure and extract the gold from this conversation.
Sure. I want to be respectful of your time and of everybody else as well. So this is a little bit what the full moon is charging us into action, right? Because it's happening in Aries, and Mars in 2-3 days is going to go into Scorpio, where it's going to feel really strong, and we're starting something new, right? So now is really seeing the internal conflicts, right? The conflicts are coming out, like you said, they're very intense times. The conflicts are there. See it as a gift, see it as a liberation, see it as life liberating you, not robbing you of your experience. And I feel like if we're seeing this, it's liberating you, because life will never take away something that you need. If this person, this job, this place where you live is still relevant to your evolution, it'll always be there. But if your life is really showing you that it's time to go, like you said, put your hands up and let the slide take you wherever you need to go. And do it in a way that's responsible, that you calculate your risk. But at the end of the day, you have to trust the universe. Even if you're traveling with $100, you know, life will pick you up. And you have a lot of resources, and money, something that comes every day along the way. So,
yeah, awesome. Yeah.
What's your takeaway from this full moon?
Well, I think a great question to ask is, whatever is happening is, what is the gift here? What is the blessing here? You know, how is this serving me? Because the first thing we see is like, oh my God, like, you know, my daughter's school bus, for instance, like this whole week, the school buses are like an hour and a half late. So I'm like, okay, we're going to drive and pick her up. But what is the blessing here? You know, what is a gift here? And every little situation is like, oh, we actually get to spend time together and grab some drinks after that. And, you know, maybe go for a little walk, you know. So there's always a hidden blessing, you know. Today, my mom is here to pick her up. So she's like, oh my God, you know, Jessica's going to be picked up with grandma. So there's always a hidden blessing.
It's true. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are there any questions there that the girls are asking? Any cool comments you want to share?
There are cool comments. Somebody saying, true lady. Christine, same. I'm Aquarius with an Aries moon. Feeling this one. Liberation. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Some of us are feeling it. Sliding hands free. Yeah. So always beautiful to be
Yeah.
here with you. Daria, I do want to share an announcement that I have, and it goes
Absolutely.
perfectly with the full moon in Aries because it's something I'm strongly passionate about and have it in my chart. Is the leadership aspect. So I'm strongly passionate about feminine leadership and how we can lead with this feminine energy that doesn't result in burnouts and this push and climbing the wrong mountains. Like I bring these examples often of my life, climbing wrong mountains. So next week, I have a leadership event for women. It's an embodied feminine leadership event, and it's going to run for free from Tuesday to Thursday. And we have a panel of speakers that are going to speak on like sexuality and leading from our joy, our pleasure, our wombs, conscious enrollments, conscious platforms. So it's going to be awesome and really exciting. So I'm going to extend the invitation to this free summit for people to join us at marinarex.com. I can put the link somewhere in the chat later on. And women can join us and lead not just your business, but self leadership. So leading ourselves. The other thing that's playing out in the world now is not questioning yourself and maybe having these thoughts of almost like victim that are slipping in, as like maybe not having the choices that you used to have or the freedoms that you used to have or whatever that is. Businesses have to pivot, so we could sometimes go into, oh, thank you, Christine, she just shared the link. Awesome. So sometimes it can have like thoughts or patterns of victimhood, of like it's happening to me, or complaining about, well, things are not as they used to be. So first thing in leadership is self-leadership, leading your own life with confidence, with grace, trusting spirit, knowing your guidance, where it comes from. We're going to have a beautiful sister also tuning in from Peru, and speaking into how to actually tap into that inner guidance first, and then transforming life around you, the life of your family, your community, people you live with, and trusting yourself for that, and also inspiring your teams. If you have a team that you work with, leading with grace, with your heart in there. And then our businesses, because the opportunity in our businesses is that it's not that it just provides you a livelihood, but it can change people's lives, the way they think, the way they move, the way then to step into our full leadership on so many levels in a conscious way.
How beautiful. Oh, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I'm absolutely going to be part of that panel, and I want to be part of that summit. Oh, I want to listen to that. Sounds amazing. I feel like that's exactly what we're needing right now. Mars squaring Pluto. It's exactly what we're living right now. Like, where is it that, there's competition that there doesn't need to be? Where is the masculine is wounded and the system is wounded in a masculine way, where there is, forcing people, where there's control, where there shouldn't be, where there's competition, where there is none, right? Yeah. So we're living this right now in our own lives and in a collective as well, right? So this is so timely. Thank you so much for organizing it. Thank you so much, my beautiful Marina, for organizing this and creating this panel and sharing today with the full moon. I hope you guys got the best out of it, and whatever resonated with you. It's exactly the little seeds that we needed to plant. Yeah. Have a beautiful night. Have a happy full moon, and take everything as a gift, and let life rob you of everything you don't need.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Oh, awesome. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thank you for your presence.
Take care, love. Take care, everyone.